Hey everyone, I know we said we'd start on time tonight, so we're 4 minutes late. Sorry about that, but we had a really important thing to do, and that was to get Mel a glass of wine because I'm sure, as you can imagine, you know, trying to talk about something like this and to be so public about it, you know, sometimes we need a little bit of Dutch courage, and, you know, I just admire people for actually having the guts enough to sit here and tell the story. I mean, that's the most amazing thing. So I'm giving permission for Mel tonight to drink wine so that you feel comfortable and you're deserving of that.
Thank you.
So, you know, not that I'm one for encouraging drinking, but you know how it goes. So I don't even know what I'm saying here because I'm getting so mixed up. But anyway, this is about a real interview and this is about real life. And it's a really hard subject to kind of like get into. Like you just don't know. Like I'm trying to work out how do I actually approach this and yeah, where to start. That's the thing. So you lost your beautiful young daughter at the age of 19.
Yep.
And her best friend?
Yep. She was
18 and 19. So how about we paint the story of before the accident? And let's look at they were planning on, or had they moved out of home and had their own little place?
Yep, they moved in together. Tori and Kendall had known each other since they were 8 and 9 and had been pretty well inseparable since. They just, within the few months prior, moved in together and started, and they were in their prime. They were just starting to blossom and really enjoy life. And yeah, on the 14th of May 2015, they were on their way to pick up Tori's younger brother and go shopping, and they were killed in a car accident.
Were they, was Kendall on her way to get an outfit or something for a date?
Yes.
The first date that night?
At Scone Cup, so on the Friday.
So this happened on a Friday?
Thursday.
So they were off to find something for Kendall's date, first date, which is something really exciting for, you know, like a young girl of that age. And they were to get, you know, brothers. Tori and her younger brother Ben were also off to shop for outfits because Tori was going to be godmother for her older sister's youngest son on the Sunday. So they're two young girls just taking off down the road to a little bit of fun to go and get a few little things, and off they go. And the one thing, they were going to do some shopping, is that right? Because they'd moved in together?
Yes, yeah.
And I'm going to read their shopping list. So I don't know, can you see that, everyone? This is what was found. This is their shopping list. Eggs, bread, cheese, chicken patties. I love that because, you know, they're young girls and cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have to make it.
Well,
it's already made, you know what I mean?
This stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, eggs, bread, cheese, chicken patties, milk, essentials, yogurt, potatoes, Silverside. Silverside?
Yeah.
It's a bit extravagant.
Yeah.
Silverside, garlic bread, noodles, pasta packets, cereal, cordial, soup, spaghetti, cream rice. Now, what young girl puts cream rice on her shopping list?
My child.
Washing powder, very sensible. Incense sticks. That's to make the new home beautiful.
Yes.
Because what goes with the incense stick is tea-light candles. And they got the toilet paper in.
Yes.
But they got the gravy. Gravy. And
to
wine.
Make the chicken patties taste good.
Yeah. Wine. Tomatoes. Toothpaste, very important. Shampoo and conditioner. A tablecloth. Chips. And frozen chips. Wow. That's amazing, isn't it? I suppose that's a real treasure of yours.
Oh, definitely. They even were so responsible that they got a joint bank account together to put their bill money in so that they could pay their bills out of their joint account. They had it together.
So we're going to talk about, just some of the things that were in the Herald, etc. So I'll just hold this up. This is like a post. I don't know whether you can actually see that. So there's lots of notation there. And, yeah, quite... I'm getting really... It's just making me really shaky, actually. So this is like where the accident was. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh, okay. So tell us about the accident. What about the last time you saw Kendall?
The last time I saw Kendall was the day before the accident, and I was supposed to go to work the next day on day work. So I was in a mad rush, single mum, shift worker, trying to get shopping done. And when I had left her and Tori, I walked away in a rush, and I always tell the kids that I love them, and I almost walked away without telling her, and she sung out from behind. They both did. I love you, so I knew then to,
tell them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I love you too. And that was the last time that I'd seen them.
So they've gone on their little adventure the day after.
Yeah.
So you hadn't seen them?
No, Tori had actually gone for her pee plates that day, and she'd had her pee plates for 4 hours.
4 hours.
She's the safest kid you'd ever meet. 4 hours she'd had her pee plates for. And they say it's the pee platers. This was a 40-year-old man that killed them kids.
Yeah. So, from there they've got in the car and they've driven down to, now tell us about the areas at Whittingham.
Yeah, down through Whittingham there, it's notorious because of the change of shift with the mines and the contractors up and down the valley. And
there've been plenty of accidents there before,
yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's been a lot of accidents.
On that strip of road, like where the accident was?
Just probably from Whittingham at Singleton right down there through to Belford, there's that stretch of road that there's been a lot of fatalities along through there.
So for the overseas viewers, that's in New South Wales, and it's up where all the mines and that are. So a lot of people travelling along this road are finishing very long shifts and yeah. So was he driving a normal car?
Yeah. He'd knocked off work, I believe, that afternoon, and it was 4:30, and there was a little bit of a bottleneck that used to be there where they'd come from the Golden Highway and merge in with the traffic that was coming down to New England, and it just, you kind of crept around. It was 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's pretty hectic through there at that time. So the girls were creeping along with the traffic, and he's come over the rise and claims not to have seen the girls. He didn't even touch his brakes. And he's hit
How
him.
could you have not seen a car in front of you?
I don't know. He had the sun in his eyes, he says. He says it was in the rear vision mirror, but then he also says that it was in his driver's side mirror, so I'm not quite sure where it was, but he claims
he was blinded by that.
Yes, that's...
So then he did not brake at all?
No, I think it does
So
actually say in the report, it was quite a bit before he pulled up, actually.
So here was the question 27. And how did you acquire this document? What did you have to go through to get this? Like your daughter's been killed in an
Tori's
accident.
sister Melanie and myself had to write a letter away to the police commissioner, stating that we were not getting anywhere near enough information. We didn't know, and until this was given to us, which was almost 12 months later, or probably over 12 months later, we still didn't know exactly what had happened that day.
Really?
Yeah, it was madness. So,
12 months later you got this information?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read
We actually got it the day, Kelly, the day of sentencing was the day, and that was, it was well over 12 months later. I think it would say on one of them which state that was. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do you say that that collision occurred? And I'm reading this exactly how it's written. Answer. I remember going over the hill, going up the side of the hill. The traffic was flowing, but it says following freely. Didn't seem to be much traffic on the road at the time. I got to the top of the hill, and as I went over the top of the hill, I sort of seen traffic, but the distance and the sun got in my eyes. It was from behind. The sun wasn't in my eyes, like directly. I was going the other way, and I sort of looked like that, and he demonstrated. And I could still see the traffic ahead. But as I sort of come down and got my full vision, there was a car slowing down in front, pretty slowing down fairly quickly. I just locked it up, and I thought that for a second I thought, oh well, I'll go this way, and I didn't really have time by the time I seen it, and I hit the other. There was a little car in front. I couldn't even tell you what colour it was. It looked like it was going to go around another car in front, and I've hit that car, and for a split second I thought, well, that wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be, and that car was already sort of pointing off the right, and it sort of just demonstrates, went past the other car, I believe, or it just darted off in that direction. Anyway, and that's when I sort of seen a truck coming past at the same time. So that's his recollection of what happened.
Yes.
So what's happened is the girls have slowed down to merge into the other lane.
They
is that
had
right?
merged.
They'd merged already.
They merged, and they were just creeping with the traffic.
So they were slowly going along.
Yeah.
And then he's come up over the rise. Is it up over the rise?
Yeah.
Said the sun's come in on his rear vision mirror or his mirror, blinded him a little, and he said he didn't see them.
Yes.
But he didn't use his brakes, but he locked up the car.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
He also said that Tori had slammed her brakes on to avoid hitting the car in front, but she had clearly left enough distance to have been hit with force that she never touched the car in front of her.
Even though he'd run into her?
Even though he had hit her with such force from behind, she still never touched that car in front of her, so she can't stop with too much force.
No, if she hasn't touched the car. I mean, I'm no expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert.
Either, but you don't.
But common sense tells me if she slowed down because she's merged into that lane, and she slowed down not to hit the car in front,
yeah.
And no matter what the accident was like the force of him coming over the hill, ramming her across the road into the other side of the traffic, is that right?
Yeah.
Oncoming traffic, and she still did not hit the car in front of her.
Never touched the car in front of her.
So, what's happened there is, so he's rammed her with enough force that it's actually taken her across the other side of the road,
Yeah.
oncoming traffic,
Yeah.
and head on with the truck.
There was a truck coming the other way, and that poor man didn't even have time to stop before them girls were underneath the front of his truck. And he was in a flat nose. I can't even imagine what that man seen that day. I really can't.
Have you ever met him?
No, but I've spoken to him on the phone, and that was a good day. That was a good day. We'd heard a lot of rumours getting around that he had committed suicide, so... And we were grieving for this man because he was just as innocent in this as what we were, so we eventually spoke with Crash Investigation about it, and they gave me his number, and yeah, I got to ring him and have a chat to him, which was really good.
What was the first thing you said to him?
Oh, well, we didn't really know what to say. I said hello and explained who I was, and he'd asked what I was with Tori's sister Melanie when I'd rang, so, and the first thing he said was, what can I do for you? And oh my God, what can we do for you? Like, it's just, you know, I would like to catch up with him one day and give him a hug and have a beer with the man, because I cannot even begin to imagine what his journey's been like as well. So, and he came from Victoria, so I can't even, like, you can't even imagine just being by yourself in a different state, having this just happened, waiting for family or friends to come and collect you, and
yeah, and I think too, you know, sometimes what happens is you lay a lot of blame on yourself. You
well,
know, like,
that was a
why
big
didn't I break
thing
quicker?
for me.
How come I didn't
Yes.
see them quicker?
Yes.
You know, I can. Oh, look, I can't imagine
No,
what
I know.
went through his mind.
And that's, I needed to make contact with him for that reason, just to say this is not your fault. It's not our fault. We weren't the ones driving that car that day, clearly not paying attention. So, you know, it's not, I just didn't want him to even think for a second that he'd had any involvement at all. It just, yeah, it's, yeah. But he did assure me that he's doing okay. He's doing as good as what he can. He's had a job change, which he said was great. It's give him a bit of a boost, but...
So he's given up the truck driving?
Yes, yes. He was a mechanic prior to being a truck driver, so he's gone back to doing that again. But yeah, he was just a really nice, genuine man, and just.
Do you want to give a shout out to him, just in case he ever gets to watch this?
Oh, absolutely!
Okay, let's do that.
Give anything to be able to meet you and hug you and buy you a beer, because I can't even. I know what my journey's been like, but I can't even begin to imagine what yours must be like. I don't want to imagine. It's, yeah.
Did they, that's probably a really horrible question, but did they die instantly? Like, or were they...
Tori was killed instantly. Kendall survived for a short period of time, unbelievably. They flew the Westpac up for her and give her a blood transfusion on the side of the road, and the doctors could not believe that they were heading up there. So they both put up, they were that badly broken that I can't even begin to imagine what their lives would have been like had they have survived, or had one of them survived. And that's a heartbreaking thing to say as a parent. I've asked myself some very difficult questions.
That's what I was going to
over
say.
the years,
yeah.
and that is one of them. Is having read both girls' autopsy reports, it would be very selfish for me to have expected them to stay with them sorts of injuries. They would have had no quality of life at all. No quality of life.
And being so young.
Yeah, their cause of death's multiple injuries for both girls, so yeah.
I guess the beautiful part is that they're together.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so they'll be
absolutely
together.
And I love Tori's sister Melanie dearly. I've loved her prior to this. It was, you know, her and I met and then introduced the girls, and I've said to her a million times, I don't know who else I could have done this with. Like, I feel grateful to have her, because you do... you have some very morbid conversations sometimes that, you know, if there were other people that don't get where you're coming from, like, it would really, you know, kind of wig them out a bit, some of the stuff that you say, but it is what it is. It's,
Why do you think that?
I don't know, it's stuff that you wouldn't necessarily want to know before about, and then all of a sudden it becomes really important. Like, I still don't have a time of death for Kendall, and I spoke to a man one day and he said, is it really that important? Well, I believe it is. I know what time I brought that kid into the world. I'd like to know what time it was that she left. It's just another little puzzle piece that, you know, they're autopsy reports that, like, we wanted a cause. And you just, there's not one, but it's just, you're looking for this, it's, the head miles are ridiculous. That's all I can say. They are ridiculous. Yeah, I would not even wish. I've had so many people say, I don't know how you're feeling, and that is a good thing. Like, it's a really good thing. Nobody should have to know how I feel. It's not natural. It's, you question everything. You question every time you grounded them. Every time they got in trouble for something silly, like every time you said no to them, it's, you question every single choice that you ever made with that child. Like, and she was in such a rush to be born, and it's like now it's, I wish I had have known. Like, I wish that they could have told me at that time she was this dainty little doll when she was born, and I wish I could have known that my time with her was limited. So I could have crammed so much more in. But you don't know. It's, I think I've said to you before, like, I walked around in a daze for days afterwards just saying, this doesn't happen to people that you know it. You read about it in the newspapers and it's on the telly, but it, how did this happen to me? Like, yeah, it just doesn't happen. But it does. It does. There's no discrimination when it comes to road fatalities, none whatsoever. Everybody's fair game when you get in a car, and it's frightening, especially when I'm far more sensitive now to other people's driving than what I used to be, and it is ridiculous the amount of people who use their phones while they drive. It's...
How do they do that?
I don't know. I went to Sydney today, and while I was waiting to be picked up, there was a man in a bus, and the traffic had gone, and he was still, and this is in the middle of Sydney, still with his head down, texting away without a care in the world.
Did it take you a little while to drive?
I still now don't like to drive.
So it's affected you that way?
Yeah, I'm conscious of everything. Like, I'm watching, I'm like, you know, when I still worked, the boys used to call me the unofficial highway patrol, because it just, that's what it gets like. It's, you know, this man today in Sydney, I had a full cup of coffee, and only that there was a ute in front of him, I wanted to launch my coffee at the side of his window just to get his attention, like, get off the phone, you idiot. But you can't. The really sad thing about this is that you can talk till you're blue in the face, but until it lands in your lap. And it's sad that that's what it's got to come to. Because it's terrible to get that knock on the door.
You know, even like people listening tonight, and, you know, it is about, take the time to go and spend the time with your children.
Yes.
You know, like, everyone's always so busy. And, you know, I'm guilty of that myself. You know, but I'm saying to all of you out there, right now, tomorrow, or this weekend, make plans to go and spend time with your children. Absolutely. Or just go and do something beautiful. Even if it's 10 minutes to go and grab a coffee together if they're older, or even if it's making the phone call because they live so far away. But go and do it. Go and tell them that you love them, and that you care for them, and, you know, tell them something, just something that you've always wanted to say to them. Just go and share that moment. I think it's really, really important to do something like that. And getting through all of this, Mel, like, what was the one thing that really helped you get through it all?
Probably the thing that I regret the most is that I waited so long to get help, and I waited so long to get medicated and things like that, because you can drive yourself insane so quickly. It's ridiculous, and there's no shame in it. Like, I'm not a talker, so this is huge for me, but to go and find that psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever that you gel with, and just let it go, because they're paid to listen to you. And probably I think the most amazing thing out of it is that because you're so crazy, and they're putting everything back right into your head, so you don't feel so crazy when you walk out the door. It's like, I know them. Actually, all right.
So how long did you wait before you...
6 months.
Wow. What did you do for that 6 months?
I done a lot of things I probably shouldn't have done because I didn't want to be here. Yeah, I was not working a lot. I mean, I had no choice. The kids and I, 6 months after them girls were killed, my 3 other children are all homeless. So I had to go and see someone. If I wanted to stick around for them other 3 kids, I had to go and talk to someone. It was do or die. So
you were
I
homeless?
did, yeah.
Because you hadn't worked, you weren't functioning as a parent, you weren't
Mm-hmm.
bringing the money in to pay rent, and so you were homeless with how many children?
3.
And how
I
old?
just dropped the ball. That was,
And is that what pushed you to go and get help?
Yeah.
So you got to that
because
stage.
it's not who I am. So it was, I had to do it for them other kids. Like, they needed me to step up and at least be some form of mum, to be there for... They were hurting just as bad as what I was, but I just... So... But, yeah, it was the best thing I ever did, was to go and get that help.
I think that's really important too, is to have that person in your life that you can share the pain with.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, you know, holding it inside is just not good for you.
No, and it's not like they don't care. They do get so invested in your story that they are there to help. They're there to... They want the best for you. It's one of the best choices that I've made, definitely.
So, each and every week when I have someone on the couch, I usually ask them to give a message of hope.
Yeah.
So let's just say if there's someone in the audience right now watching tonight and they've been through a similar circumstance than you.
Yeah.
As you. And, you know, they're feeling the pain too, and maybe it's something new to them, like it's only recently happened.
Yeah.
They've lost a child.
Yeah.
What would be a message of hope that you would give that particular person watching tonight?
I think it's probably that, you know, particularly if you've got other children as well that are relying on you, that even on the days that you don't want to get out of bed, you will get out of bed for them. And it's that putting that one foot in front of the other to get enough of a momentum that you can stop feeling like you're nothing but that grieving ball of mess. It's hard because I just don't even know if there are. You're not alone, I think. Like, it's the worst roller coaster ride ever, but definitely get help. Definitely don't feel alone. Don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. It's one of the smartest things that I've done. I wouldn't be sitting here now having this conversation if I didn't go and be medicated properly and all that sort of stuff. And that's just daily now. I have to have medication to get out of bed, and that's fine because it gets me out of bed and it makes me do what I need to do. So, yeah, hugs for anyone that's going through. There's no words. There really is no magic
Go and get
words.
help.
Definitely.
And then something too that you showed me earlier. Where's that little book of yours?
Oh, my little...
So this was something that got you through and still today you use.
Yes.
So this is a little recommendation. So
yes.
if you have a spiritual path and you think that maybe something like this could help you, this worked for you, Mel.
Definitely. I like to believe that they're there. They're right there. There's more to this world than us, and I have been shown that, believers or non-believers. I don't care. I have seen it, and yeah, it just makes me feel that little bit. It's helped my soul immensely.
So it's called The Little Book of Practical Magic by Sarah Bartlett. So look it up, and that's it, and hopefully Yeah, we'll write it in the comments for you anyway.
Help make your universe right.
So, did you get a tattoo with Tori's name?
Both the girls, yeah. Kendall was Flossie. So,
on the lips.
And they both, with the lipsticks. They need a touch up actually.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
And the other thing I was going to ask you. So what were the charges laid on Mr.
Bullen?
The particular man?
Mr. Bullen was charged with a neg driving occasioning death, 1 count. So he was only charged for killing Tori, not for killing Kendall.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's something else that we're yet to discover.
So he was only charged for killing one of the young girls, Tori, and not your daughter.
Yeah.
So the driver and not the passenger, Kendall, your daughter.
Yes. We were told that they need to keep the charges as simple as possible. Otherwise, if it goes to district court and they get a good solicitor, it'll get thrown out. So it's better for them to get some charges than none. That's what we were told, yes. Oh, look, it's...
So what did he get in the end? Did he get a jail sentence?
No.
What happened
He
to him?
was charged with... He got 300 hours community service, a $1,500 fine, and a 12-month loss of licence. And then some other family members pushed to take... Because that was all dealt with in local court, so... Some other family members pushed and took it to the district court to have the charges reviewed. And because it's an entirely different court, he's sentenced differently. And he left that day with a 12-month suspended sentence and a 2-year loss of licence, and his community service was squashed.
That is
he actually,
absolutely heartbreaking.
He drove a car right up to the day that he was sentenced the first time. It's our laws need looking at. Like, it is ridiculous, the things that people... Why would people want to do the right things on the road when you can go and kill 2 people and that's all you get? That's the cost of 2 lives. $1,500 and $300 worth of... 300 hours worth of community service.
That's just devastating.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking. I'm heartbroken by that, and I can only imagine. I mean, I can't even imagine how you feel as a mum.
And that's good.
You know, I mean, you'd have to feel so ripped off.
Oh, absolutely.
What I can't,
Yeah.
I just can't get it in my head that he could only be responsible for the driver.
Yeah.
And not the passenger, and they both died.
He was actually initially charged with neg driving caused death on 1 count, and a secondary charge of follow too close. And when they got the neg driving charge through, they let the drive too close go.
I'm so sorry that's yeah. Oh dear. So I'll just read out some of the names that I've watched tonight, because I know there's been a lot of people really interested in this topic. So Peter Martin, hi Peter, like, how are you? Mick Galvin, Brad Green, Lisa Haynes. Now Lisa's been on the show a few months ago, and Lisa's father passed away on the weekend. So I'm sending you lots of beautiful hugs, my darling, and love from everyone here. And you know, you're just the most beautiful woman, and I'm very sorry that you had lost your dad, but he was such a great man. So be blessed for the time that you had with him and the beautiful memories. Lisa McCarthy, Amber Jane Sterling, Sharon Lee Jeffson, Narelle Michelle, hey, she's also been on the show, Jodie Thompson, and Jennifer Stefanak, who's coming on in 2 weeks' time, I believe. And she's over here. Come and show your face, Jennifer. So, Here we go. Can we get in? Can we get in?
Yeah. It's a real family affair.
This is Jennifer, and Jennifer's going to be with us in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
So hi Shireen Lowe, Trish Griffiths, Chelsea Burke, and Helen Buchanan. S.G. Adams, John and Judy King, the best photographers ever, let me tell you. When you look on my website, you'll see a photograph of me with all the puppies, thanks to Judy and John King. Liz Clark, hi Liz Clark, Chris Ryan, Alana Jack, Jennifer Warner, Julie Solomons, and Cherie Walsh. And obviously we can't say them all, but, you know, Margaret Moffat, Jessica Wilcox, thank you so much, Samantha Schoen, in loving memory of beautiful Kendall and Tori. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. So everyone, you know, be safe on the roads and put your damn bloody phones down.
Yes.
Like, you know, no matter what in life, it's not worth it. Nothing is worth that. Just drive carefully, be aware of who's on the road with you, and, you know, go and hug your children and tell them you love them.
Yes.
Or ring them or do something. But just make sure you share the love tomorrow or tonight. And we'll be seeing you next week, 7:30, and we'll see you then. So no matter what in life, everything's going to be okay. So it's a thumbs up from all of us.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.